This video is going to actually provide the top 15 YouTube videos that I think properly addresses the travesty of RipOffReport.com. And I've actually started with the very first one, and that is this gentleman has done an exceptional job of not only explaining how he was unjustifiably slandered on the internet, but where I related to this the most is that he pockets that, and he actually explains how the fleecing really took place afterwards. He was fleeced by RipOffReport.com and all their scammy arbitrations and the pain it caused him. And then how he spent tens of thousands of dollars with reputation repair firms once they found out his net worth. And then how ultimately he discovered a law firm that could actually do some good and filed the lawsuit. And then how he had to go through all the internet service providers in this pain of trying to take this information off. But the thing I relate the most to is his very last statement at the end of the video while he's being interviewed. He said, "My wish is that Ed Magiston falls off a cliff and hits every rock on the way down, and then slowly bleeds out." Now, unless you've gone through this, you really can't appreciate it. And through the entire video, he is not vindictive at all. He's highly educated, explains things with little to no excessive emotion. I mean, he is reporting what he knows to be true. And that's why I wish it was listed as the number one on the YouTube count, because it's the most relevant. The next one is RipOff Report's Scam Artists. And this lawyer does a very good job at explaining how this doctor was just brutally attacked on RipOffReport.com and what he had to go through for years in trying to get this information off, which, much like me, completely destroyed his practice. I think the reason this becomes a number two for me is because the credibility of the lawyer explaining what happened, you can see the intensity in his face of how unjust the whole process was. The third is in regards to the RipOff Report writer that's under criminal investigation on a 60 Minutes interview. And you'll notice as I go through all of these, I'm providing the URL link for each one of them. But this was done extremely well. And it shows that if these writers are under criminal investigation, it almost beckons the question, where is the federal government? I mean, how is RipOff Report not getting nailed under RICO charges? The fourth one is one that I actually took my theme, RipOffReport.com Exposed. And this television reporter, she does a very good job. I mean, very succinct, gets to the point, explains what the exposure is and why this needs critical attention. The fifth is by Bill O'Reilly. He actually approached this a little bit differently. He brought on some guest speakers to talk about the worst websites that are out there. And number one came up as RipOffReport.com. So as Bill O'Reilly is very good at, he basically tells the general audience, beware of this, watch out for this. I just wish he would have done, like he did in other areas, done more follow-up. It was kind of a one and done for him. The sixth one is the RipOff Report, where they're actually getting on tape those people at RipOffReport.com that are actually explaining how they do what they do. Again, if this was any other industry, they would have been brought up on RICO just for that hidden camera confession that's going on in this hotel room. And I can't imagine why the feds haven't looked at this and used this as one of the reasons to file RICO against RipOff Report and Ed Magiston. The seventh one, again, this actually was really close to being my number 2 or 3. It's where a gentleman explains the way he was unjustly treated, but he goes more into an investigative role in this. And so I kind of pushed it down to number 7 because he's trying to build the legal case, but does an extremely effective due diligence in the process. The 8th one, and I just love their depiction of David and Goliath, but they show how Google itself started to look at RipOff Report as uncredible and a little bit sleazy. What's amazing, though, is that they haven't totally barred them from ranking on their site. The 9th is the actual court case showing some of the discovery items that came out when they started to approach exactly what RipOffReport.com was doing. The 10th is just the RipOff Report court order and what was going on as they were trying to go through discovery with RipOffReport.com. The 11th is the YouTube on how this RipOffReport.com is probably one of the longest running extortion rackets on the internet and why it's not being picked up by the federal government just for that fact. I mean, and I had spoken about this in previous videos, legal extortion to the max. And they did a pretty good job at showing, how are they allowed to be on the internet so long? And why has their site not been shut down? This next one is kind of humorous. It's a gentleman that, out of just pure anger, is calling Ed Magiston a scumbag, and why he is anything but legitimate. He gets a little vulgar, but if you've gone through this, you really appreciate where he's coming from. You just want to call Ed a scumbag. The 13th is a gentleman that's actually showing all the scam sites and puts RipOff Report at the very top, and what they do, why they do it, and what he's really trying to do in his YouTube video is to explain how to get around it. I kind of push this towards the end because it is a sale of services, but he does an exceptional job of explaining how that industry works. The 14th is just once again explaining RipOff Report and what they're doing as part of the normal scam sites that are out there, the industries they're in. And then last but not least is the how RipOff Report is doing what they're doing. And this gentleman is as confused as many of us as to how they're even allowed to be on the internet, let alone get any kind of Google ratings, and why they haven't been totally taken off the internet and most of the people involved put in jail. So once again, as you know me, my very ending of all these videos is to plead you to GoFundMe and let's get something going. And I'm also providing my email address. So let's get active. Let's do something.